Welcome to the Comicstorian channel, where we take some of your favorite comic books, video games, and movies, and we break them down into fun-to-listen-to synopsises. We basically turn them into audio dramas, allowing you to keep up with what happened in your favorite comic book or movie or video game while getting on with your busy life. Today, we're going to be continuing the storyline of the Teen Titans, the one that recently introduced Jin, Crush, Roundhouse, three individuals that you have probably never heard of. Just so you know that these are members of the Teen Titans, Crush is seemingly the daughter of Lobo, Jin is literally a genie who was trapped in a ring, and Roundhouse is an Instagram star who has the ability to basically make himself very large or very small and bounce around. Robin, Kid Flash, and Red Arrow recruited these three individuals, put them onto the team, and we have videos involving all of that in the description down below, and you can click all of those. But now it's time for us to continue the storyline that has been happening. To give you a quick synopsis of what has happened up to this point, Robin has created a Black Ops prison where he's keeping prisoners in what he is calling the proper way to handle them. He doesn't agree with Batman's plan to put them into Arkham Asylum, so his plan was to create his own prison beneath the base where the Teen Titans work, but then tell none of them that this even exists. And he's dealing with that right now. He's also been getting his information as to where to get these individuals from Red Hood, but it seems like Red Hood may have betrayed them, leading us to today's story. The Teen Titans, well, Robin versus Red Hood. And if you enjoy this video and want to get earlier access to a lot of our videos, then consider becoming a Comicstorian Premium member by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Comicstorian. It's there that we release a lot of these videos 3 days to upwards to a couple of months sometimes early over there because we're not worried about the YouTube algorithm over there. But either way, let's get on with the story that you clicked to listen to. Deep below Mercy Hall, the current headquarters of the Teen Titans, there's a smile that comes across Robin's face. This prison that he built, it's dark, it's cold, it smells. Everything a real prison could ever hope to be. But it must remain a secret. Not many could even stomach what it takes to succeed, except for the one person that has learned his secret. Prior to this, Robin led the team on a covert mission to obtain something within the Batcave itself. Roundhouse steps into the giant halls asking if this is really the Batcave. Also, the Batcave is real? Kid Flash tells him, "Hold up! Why are we here?" And Robin tells him because they're gonna steal from Batman. My source has been compromised. It's clear the others' reach in the criminal underworld may be wider than anticipated. If we're going to fight this, we're gonna have to level the playing field and take Batman's most powerful tool, information. Robin then tells Roundhouse that they're going to need full backdoor access to Batman's computers. While they work on that, he has something else to deal with. Roundhouse begins to get to work, but while everyone crowds around the computer, Crush looks around noticing Jin is missing. Just then an alarm goes off and Red Arrow asks, what did he do? Roundhouse asks, would you believe me if I told you nothing? Meanwhile, upstairs, Robin passes a portrait of Thomas and Martha Wayne, with Alfred stating that he remembers the day that they set for that painting. Welcome home, Master Damian. You should know Master Bruce spends many a sleepless night thinking of you and your well-being. Robin pulls up his hood stating, that man barely sleeps anyway. But as he walks away, Alfred stops him stating, you shouldn't take things that don't belong to you. Robin starts to state, I didn't. And Alfred stops him, telling him, I also don't appreciate someone going through my things. I cannot allow you to leave with what you took. Robin asks, why are you protecting him? And Alfred tells him, because Jason is your brother. I'm going to do for him what I would do for any of you. Just then the alarms reach the main floor and Robin says, it sounds like you're needed down in the Batcave. Alfred sighs, telling him, oh, Master Damian, it's being handled. Down in the cave, Roundhouse says, I got good news. I stopped the alarm. Should be smooth sailing from here on out. But that's when from above them, Batman leaps out of the shadows. Back upstairs, Robin tells Alfred to move. Red Hood betrayed me! I'm just doing what Father should have done a long time ago. Alfred tells him, Jason's methods may be unorthodox, but he is a part of this family and on the side of good. Do not presume malice in what is perhaps a miscommunication. Talk to him. Do not make rash decisions that you may regret later. Robin leaves, walking down the halls of the Batcave, passing all of the portraits of everyone. When he looks up at the painting of Bruce and all the others, he scoffs, continuing on his way. But behind him, Jin is watching from afar. Down below, Kid Flash runs through the cave, yelling to Batman, you know us! Stop this! Something's not right here! Over by the giant penny, Roundhouse is hiding, praying to God that if he survives, he will limit himself to only playing 2, maybe 3 hours a night, if they make it out of here. Batman starts to walk closer when Robin jumps through, cutting off Batman's head. Roundhouse screams as Batman's head bounces on the floor, but then everyone notices the circuitry hanging from the neck. Roundhouse shouts, asking what just happened, and Robin tells him, it's a rare case where Batman wasn't here. There are security measures in place. But when everyone gets ready to leave, Red Arrow asks Jin where she's been the whole time. She thinks about it for a moment and says that she must be mistaken. I was here the whole time, Red Arrow. Back in the current time, our current day, Robin hears his name being called out. And in that moment of not paying attention, Black Mask reaches towards Robin with a makeshift shiv. A red arrow shoots past him and into Black Mask's hand, and Red Arrow says that she thought they were in this together. That mission they went on, that was a distraction, wasn't it? What were you really doing there? Why keep me in the dark? Robin picks up the shiv, telling her, it was, family business. Red Arrow then says that she knew working with Red Hood was a bad idea. He was the one who tipped them off about Gordon, but the other knew they were coming when they went for Lady Vic. So Robin tells her, I know. Trusting Red Hood was an error in my judgment. Red Hood is in league with the other. And Red Arrow says that, or he is the other. As the two head back up to the loft, Robin takes out a small box stating that their mission was to retrieve this. And with it, Red Hood will no longer be a problem. Later that night, Robin follows a stumbling Jason Todd out of a bar. He didn't want to confront him like this, but things need to be taken care of. He sits on a stool next to Red Hood and he tells him, you look like crap. And Red Hood asks, are you even old enough to be in here, Damien? Robin laughs, stating that the law states that minors can be in businesses that serve alcohol as long as they are accompanied by an adult. So that's you, and we need to talk. Red Hood grabs his beer, telling him, no, we don't. Besides, you're already too late. The old man already found me, told me what happened to Sanctuary. Red Hood then pulls out a dart and lines up his throw, stating, you better find out who killed Roy, or I will. The dart is thrown, and Red Hood says, I was very clear how this works, Damien. You come to me, not the other way around. And Robin tells him, we have a situation. Lady Vic is dead. The other killed Vic before my team could get her. They blew up the whole building with us inside. We barely got out alive. Red Hood asks, is everyone okay? And Robin tells him, yeah, but perhaps you were expecting otherwise? Hoped maybe we would all die? Red Hood then asks, what are you talking about? And Robin tells him, someone knew we were coming, and I know who. It was you. Robin whips his arm back with the dart, stabbing into Red Hood's leg. And Red Hood shouts, asking, are you crazy or something? A second later, Robin is thrown out of the bar, and as he gets up, he quickly changes into his costume with Red Hood storming out, yelling, what the hell do you think you're doing? Robin jumps up, throwing batarangs, telling him, I know it was a setup. Nobody knew we were trying to stop Lady Vic other than you. You're the one who gave us the mission. Robin starts swinging, but Red Hood catches his arm, stating, don't do this. Robin then jumps onto Red Hood's back, ripping off his mask, stating, I am going to take you down for good. After an electrically charged hit to the face, Red Hood falls. Robin tells him, say it. Say you're working with the other. You've got enough of your own sins. You're not going to get me to confess to something I didn't do. Robin then asks, you want to keep playing games? Okay, let's play. He then takes out the small box that he got from the mansion. Red Hood looks up at it, stating, what's in there is my business. It's bigger than this whole crusade. Even Batman wouldn't stoop this low. Robin tells him, say the truth, now! Red Hood tells him, you want the truth? Now I'm pissed! He smacks the box out of Robin's hand, and as Robin tries to run for it, Red Hood grabs him by the cape, flinging him into a truck. He takes out both his fists, cracking Robin in the back, telling him, I would ditch the cape if I were you. Robin laughs, stating that he's done taking lessons from him, and Red Hood picks him up by the hair, punching him, telling him, next time, you need to check your facts. You always think you're the smartest one in the room, and there's some truth to that, but you're still just a kid with a lot to learn. Red Hood then finishes with a knee to the face, and as Robin falls, he tells him, consider this one final lesson. Don't start a fight you can't finish. Robin leans up, opening his vest, showing a bomb, shouting, even if I lose, I'm gonna win! Red Hood stares up for a moment, and then he smiles. Nice bluff. We've both been dead once before, but you lost the minute you showed up. I'm not working for the other. In time, you'll understand that. But from here on out, if you and your team come looking, I will put you all into the ground. As Red Hood picks up the box, he leaves. And elsewhere, the other watches. Even later that night at Mercy Hall, Robin tosses in his bed groaning with Jin asking what's wrong. He tells her nothing, and Jin says that she's here to help him. He needs to be honest with himself. So he gets up stating that he just misjudged something, that's all. And Jin tells him, I can see it now. You're feeling sorry for yourself. Robin spins back shouting, I am not! But in doing so, it causes him enough pain to fall to his knees. She kneels beside him, telling him that she can heal his physical wounds, but he needs to let her in. The body and the soul are more connected than he might realize. This requires trust. He swats her hand away, stating, trust is a commodity I can't afford. I would expect you to understand that more than anyone on this team. She places her hand on his shoulder, telling him that he withholds from the team for the greater good. But his wounds are severe enough that they require attention either from her magic or a physician's hand. So what are his barriers worth to him? Will he maintain them at the cost of his life? He shuffles in the bed, stating that he'll be fine, he just needs rest. As he sits on the bed, Jin says that he had absolute power with her ring and he chose to return it to her. She trusts him. If she heals him, he will need to trust her. That is why she will share with him one of her own secrets, her greatest shame. 4,000 years ago, there was a tale that angels were created from light, and Jin was created from smokeless fire. Her brothers existed before man walked this earth, but she was born in a time of humanity. She is Scylla, a female Jin, rare amongst her kind. Shrines were built to her, sacrifices made in her name. It wouldn't be long before she drew the attention of the eldest of them, the most powerful Jin there is, and ever was. His name was Elias, and he was the most beautiful thing that she had ever seen. He opened her eyes to the truth of all things, that the Creator made them to be subjugated to the will of humanity, to a life of servitude, not gods, but slaves. Elias taught them that they could fight back, and they did. They fought against those wishing to control them. Eventually, their mission took them to Makkah, the mother of all cities. They were there to retrieve the infamous Stone of Souls. It was a stone that was said to have descended from heaven itself. As they prepared for the fight of their lives, they found the stone's protectors were mere children. She refused to kill them, and Elias grew angry. He questioned her loyalty to him and their kind. So she turned and used her magic to stop him, and her other brothers fled with the stone. She cast a protective spell upon the children, but for betraying Elias, she would be punished. Instead of killing her, he did something far worse. He took her ring and made it into a prison. He then commanded her to kill every one of the last children she tried to protect. But her punishment had only begun. He never stopped looking for the stone, and over the thousands of years, he lended her ring to other masters who might help him achieve his goal. But a year ago, the unexpected happened. A young boy stole the ring from his master and gave her back her freedom. Since then, she's had to hide her powers in fear that Elias would come back. Jin looks at Robin and asks, "Do you hate me for knowing my secret?" He tells her that he's not really in a position to judge. She isn't the only one who's done things that will follow them forever. He's hurt people too, taken lives. But he's always had a choice. She can't blame herself. He then takes off his mask, telling her that she isn't alone. "My name is Damian Wayne." And Jin says that it's nice to meet him. As the two begin to get closer to kiss, there's a beep coming from Robin's mask. He looks at the visor, and an image of Deathstroke comes on the lens. Jin asks what's the matter, and the words, "Deathstroke escapes Arkham," begin to flash. So he puts on the visor, stating, "Everything." And there you have it, another part of the Teen Titans storyline. But what's going to happen next? Well, it's a storyline that I've been building up to. It's a storyline that I want to bring you, but to give you proper context, I had to do everything in front of it. Luckily, all of the Teen Titans stuff has been incredible, so doing all the stuff in front of it was worthwhile. But the next one, guys, the death of Deathstroke. Yeah, that's right, you heard me right. The death of Deathstroke is next in this series. Robin's gonna go get him and put him in that prison. So if you enjoyed this storyline and you want to hear more about the Teen Titans and you want to see what's going on, consider joining our Patreon. But if you don't want to support us in that manner, just consider subscribing to the channel, giving the video a like, and don't forget you can turn that bell on to know when these videos come out. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian.